So recently I found an article that was from MTV.com by Stacey Grant titled, "This Tumblr blog will change the way you see race in movies." So this blog looks at mainstream movie titles and clips together scenes where only a POC, that's people of color, even fantasy people of color, reducing some 2-hour-long movies into about a minute and a half. And the author of this article says we have a long way for racial equality. Now, the first major Hollywood title it points out in the article is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And apparently, from these 3 films, depending on the version, there's the theatrical one that's 9 hours and 17 minutes, and then there's the extended version that's 11 hours and 21 minutes. For the purposes of the article, they use the theatrical version that's 558 minutes, reducing almost 9.5 hours into 46 seconds of people of color talking. The second movie from the blog that the article talks about is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, reducing the movie from 152 minutes to 99 seconds. I could go on, but you get the picture. It's major films, hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours in the trilogy, that was the first example, reduced into minutes, if that. Some are even just 7 seconds, which was Into the Woods. Person of color only spoke then. After laying out the movies and the minimal amount of time that people of color speak in these major Hollywood productions, the author then moves on to citing celebrities that took notice on their Twitter of the blog. To clarify, the Tumblr blog that's being discussed is every single word. If you want to check it out, a link is in the description below. The 2 celebrities that are mentioned are Aziz Ansari, now that's Tom Hayford from Parks and Recreation, it's a pretty good show, and Kerry Washington from Scandal, who plays the role of Olivia Pope, the lead role. And both celebrities seem to praise the blog. Mr. Ansari says, "Sorry if old news, but every single word spoken by a person of color in mainstream film title is amazing. Watch," and then he adds the link. And Kerry Washington said, "I know I'm late. You may have already seen this, but it's so good. I had to post just in case you haven't." So the author of the article starts with the facts of the blog, and then leads up with a celebrity endorsements, and then ends with this, and I quote, "So, what does this all mean? Basically, it means we've still got a ways to go for civil and human rights. Let's fix this issue and fix it together." Now, I understand the initial logic of looking at something and saying, oh, well, people of color are contributing about 7 seconds to a major Hollywood film where all these other white people are just talking it up all over the film, taking up all the time for all the people of color to, get in some lines in. But could it be, now bear with me, the 1 or 2 people that'll actually watch this video, could it be that the supply for actors that are of color are drastically less in Hollywood than people who are not of color? Could it be that other actors try out for roles and they happen to get the role and be white at the same time? Could it be that the Tumblr blog and the author of the article looks for racism so they can pretend to feel good about themselves while also pretending to be an activist while they rake in some publicity or monetary value to further their own goals? I don't think it's that one. I mean, I hope it's not that one. Anyways, I tried to find the raw data of how many non-colored people there are in Hollywood and how many people of color there are in Hollywood. Now, as an addendum to that, the blog also counted people of color as the Orc Army in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So, I guess the blog's also saying that orcs need more representation in media? No, it's not that. I guess it's just you can't have too many white people on the screen, or maybe they're just a dominant figure. Or, of course they are. It shows it right there. I can't argue that. But it seems like there's this giant push for representation in the media. Like it's some uber important thing. Like you have to have your special group in there, or you're person of color, or maybe your specific gender or sexuality represented in media, and it has to be in a good way. Usually, that's what supporters of identity politics want to represent in their media. But I don't understand the logic behind focusing on the skin color of the person who's talking, or delivering a message, or maybe if they're doing something bad or something good, or they're the lead character, they're a side character, they're a plot device, they're the driving force behind the trilogy that escalates it to the top of our media and becomes a landmark, a Citizen Kane 2 of the theater. Shouldn't we hold other people to the standard that they'll understand that when someone's talking, it's not important to focus on the color of their skin? So if they say something bad, it won't incite some type of bigoted views? I'm assuming that's what the main thrust of these people are when they want to have certain people of color delivering lines in movies so that they can have their spotlight or their attention or their publicity. I don't see how a lack of representation of your certain group is a detriment. By all means, let it be able for any color, any race, gender, sexuality, whatever. If you want to act, even species. You know, get more monkeys in there. Get a hippopotamus that plays the lead role in a movie. I don't care. The story should be the main drive, or go for character development. You know, this person overcomes this obstacle. It could be race-based, as in movies like Rosewood. I thought it was a good movie. It was terrible what happened to the people of color in the movies, and it definitely showed me like, oh, racism is pretty shitty. Or it could be like G.I. Jane, where it shows, oh, look, a woman can do everything a man can do. That's all fine and good if you want to have that story. But I don't see why every single depiction of a character development or a story or a fable, anything in the media, just has to be some equally diverse casting at all times. There's groups of people that are like, oh, there needs to be more people of color. Oh, there needs to be more diversity in the genders or the sexualities, this and that. Come on, we need more of everything else. We need diversity. Like, I just enjoy the movie, gain the morals, gain the message, even if it's a shitty message, even if every person of color in the movie is a horrible person. Why are you looking at that and saying, oh, it's in there because they're a person of color and that's why they're horrible? Well, I don't initially see that. Apparently, and of course, there are some ignorant people that do, whether it be for a anti or pro-racist agenda. But let's not get caught up on such an irrelevant detail. If you want to have a movie that has predominantly people of color talking, go make that movie. Go find a production company, support a production company, do a Kickstarter, try and make a film and enter it into the Sundance Film Festival. And if in the next few years there's a surge of people of color in film delivering lines, playing the heroes, progressing the storyline, great, wonderful. I could care less. It's just a person with a certain skin color. I don't see any inherent reason why that's a good or bad thing. It just seems to be an irrelevant detail. If you disagree, by all means, utilize the comment section. Or disregard my video and move on. There's a million or billion other videos out there that'll have different groups, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them will bolster your own beliefs and convictions and viewpoints. Anyway, you've all been blessed with my voice for today, and you're welcome. This is Jimmy Willems signing out. Like, comment, subscribe, share, praise me, go into the streets and say my name, go to every door and tell them of the glory that is Jimmy, and how he has enhanced your life. And then carry on, citizens of the world.